Hello, welcome to Matt Literacy with me, Miss Matt Mullen. We finally reached the week about history. I said about 4 weeks ago that we were going to do history next week, but it's here. It's the history week. So join me for 3 words from history. Hello, and our 3 words for this week are chronology, monarchy, and succession. So let's dive straight in and find out what chronology is. Now, I haven't talked a lot about etymology recently. I've been ignoring my ancient Latin and my ancient Greek, but I am dipping in again. Now, Chronos was the ancient Greek god of time. He was one of the originals. He was Zeus's dad. He was super important. Chronos, therefore, has meant time throughout many languages in history, and that is where chronology comes from time. Literally just means events that are written or told in the order that they happened. If you tell a story in chronological order, you are telling it from start to finish with no wobbly time bits or flashbacks. If you are getting people to line up in chronological age order, then they will line up with, order of birthdays. Okay, order of age. So that's chronology. Let's have a look at our Freya model for it. So our definition is the arrangement of events or dates in the order of their occurrence. You can see that the dual code that I've got is just like clocks with an arrow to show that it's moving through time. Our characteristics of chronology are the fact that it comes from the ancient Greek chronos, which means time. An example would be listing monarchs in the order that they ruled, and we are gonna move on to talk about monarchs in a moment. And our non-examples would be listing our favourite monarchs in no particular order. Now, let's move on to talk about monarchy then. So a monarchy is a type of government, a type of ruling a country where there is one person who's head of state, and head of state means that they're like the figure at the top of the country. We live in a monarchy in the UK. We have the Queen. Though in the past, kings and queens would have had a lot more power. Now, in a monarchy, usually it is inherited, the fact that you become the monarch. So monarch is the person who runs the monarchy. And so yes, usually that is inherited. We call that an heir, as in H-E-I-R, an heir to the throne. Now, if you pause the video now and complete this Freya model, just really quickly get some ideas down, then I will see you at the other side. Amazing, and let's see what I have put. So I've put our definition down as being a type of government in which one person's head of state for life. They usually inherit the position. Now, the characteristics of that are that a monarchy can be a limited monarchy. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to put this because this is specific knowledge that I found when I was Googling it. But these are some characteristics that you could put down and you can add to your notes. A monarchy can be limited, which means that they only have ceremonial powers. It could be constitutional, which means that they have some powers given to them by the government, or they can be absolute, which is where the monarch has complete control. And that's the way monarchs used to be in the past in the UK, like Henry VIII and stuff. So examples of the monarchy or of monarchs. So examples of the monarchy would be our monarchy. Example of monarchs would be Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth I, all part of the UK monarchy. Non-examples of monarchs would be Joe Biden, the President of the USA, Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, or Nicola Sturgeon, the First Minister of Scotland. Now for our final word, we're going to mix chronology with monarchy and see what you get. So over time, what happens with monarchy? Where do they go when one monarch dies? Well, then we have succession. They pass on the crown to their usually son The UK has now changed the laws so that a female could, like an eldest daughter, could take over, because in the past, if a man had 5 daughters and 1 son, and the son was the youngest, the 5 daughters would be ignored and the crown would go to the son. That's not the case in the UK anymore, but only very, very recently, like the last sort of 10 years. And so, yeah, succession is that process of the change of the crown from one person to the next. So the succession. And succession in general use, the word succession means for one thing to come after another. So you might say a succession of events. You might say there have been a succession of bosses working here, none have stayed for more than a week. You may say I've had a succession of English teachers. It simply means the things coming after each other. So let's give the Freya model a go. So if you try and fill out the Freya model for succession, if you give it a definition, think of some characteristics of succession, think of some examples of succession, and finally some non-examples. If you pause the video now. Okay, so here's what I've come up with for succession as a Freya model. So, definition: when the position of monarchy is passed on to the next in line. Characteristics: well, traditionally this is usually the eldest son or male heir. Many battles and wars have happened as a result of arguments over succession because everyone wants the power. Examples of succession. I've gone for a fun one. So Elsa takes power over Arendelle when her parents die at sea because she is the oldest child. So that is obviously a Frozen reference there. Moana's father wants her to rule. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. After him because she is his eldest child. It's been a little while since I've seen the film. It's been a few months, I don't remember. So both of those examples of in modern Disney where succession has involved a child being expected to take over the kingdom. Non-examples, things that are not succession, would be Boris Johnson becoming Prime Minister. Wasn't succession. The Great British Bake Off getting new presenters. It's not succession. Well, not succession in the royal sense, okay? So we're talking about succession in the royal sense here, not in the general term. So Boris Johnson wouldn't be royal succession. It wasn't inherited. And the Great British Bake Off presenters are not heirs. They're not. And now then, let's go on to spelling. Well, first of all, I would like you to spell chronology for me, please. And monarchy. And succession. Now, I'm not sure that any of these words are easy, so just check over them now. So chronology, that's got your CH instead of your K. Monarchy, it's also got a CH instead of a K there. We were all about the chus today, sounding like kuss. And succession has just got loads of letters, hasn't it? 2 C's and 2 S's. Well, 3 S's altogether. Whew. Taking all the letters. Okay, let's give them another go. So, chronology. Don't forget to cover up the previous attempts, okay? Don't be pulling that. Chronology. Monarchy. And succession. And check them again before we try and spell them for the last time. So really look at those words now. Really remember that CH. Those 3 S's and 2 C's. And let's try it for the final time. Can you spell chronology? can you spell monarchy? And can you spell succession? And this brings us on to our definition and dual coding section. So if you, in a second, pause the video so that you can fill these out, putting the definitions in and using the dual codes, making sure that the spelling is correct this time. Excellent, and that brings us to the end of our history video. Have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. No, I won't. You will see me next week because I'm on the screen and you're away. You don't exist yet where I am. Bye. Thank you for joining us for another week on Macamo Literacy. If you enjoy starting with a word and then ending up in a rambling journey to who knows where, then I suggest that you hit like and subscribe. Also, if you just want to be a pal, like and subscribe. See you next week.